Welcome back to another market recap where there are a few points that I would like to discuss today. So as you may see right now, we are going to be talking about 5 different charts, starting off with the S&P 500 representing all equities in the world. Next up, the volatility index for a brief explanation of how volatility works and seasonal returns on the SPX. Next up, we're going to see how that links into Bitcoin and Ethereum and why I believe for the last part of the video that we are entering potentially a alt season right now and another scenario for the crypto market. So first and foremost, what we can see is the S&P 500 longer term chart. So since January of 2021, we can see a huge bullish movement, a nice upwards trending trend channel and some resistance at this point as the market was clearly overextended, as you can see right here. So what happened is very recently, or in the past, let's say few days or last Friday, we had quite a sell-off, right? So the SPX has been falling, and what happened in the midst of that sell-off, it basically drew crypto prices along, and that's why you can see a lot lower prices and also a sell-off in Bitcoin and Ethereum as consumer confidence fell due to the SPX driving the market, if that's understandable. So everything pretty much is closely correlated when it comes to cryptocurrencies to equities because they represent consumer confidence in the market. Now, there is a way that this correlation can be undone, which is in fact in the scenario that a alt season is starting, which I'm going to talk about at the end. So why did the SPX fall? Well, there was a lot of profit taking. First of all, as you can see, this move is huge and with no retracements at all. And if we plot our fib levels right now, let's say from the complete bottom, we can see that we are respecting the 50% fib level at this point. And if we do manage to hold support right here, the market is probably going to rebound sometime this week and continue moving towards the upside, which is a good thing. And especially another bullish indicator for the SPX is the fact that the new Omicron variant of COVID is apparently not a great degree of danger for the world. So the cases are mild and consumer confidence is slowly pulling back. Now, why did I mention the VIX or the volatility index? Well, market history says that Omicron volatility isn't a reason to sell. So there's a big difference between being a trader and an investor. Investors are obviously long-term, and there is a lot of uncertainty and volatility caused by the COVID market. You can see this using the VIX or the volatility indicator, which states that every single time that it's above the threshold of 20, right, that means the risk sentiment is present in the market and there's more of a fearful state among investors, right? So currently we're there, but history shows, as they say right here, that the VIX volatility index suggests that patient investors will always be rewarded, meaning that since 1990, 18 of the 19 biggest single-day spikes in the volatility index were followed by an S&P 500 that was higher 1 year later. So that's talking about long-term investors, which is a good thing, obviously, because both the stock market and both crypto should be viewed as a long-term investment in the best case scenario, right? Because day trading is a little bit more dangerous, especially during all these periods of volatility. So the lowest risk and highest reward play is to play on the SPX for the long term, or obviously cryptocurrencies for the long term as well. So right now we're looking at Bitcoin's chart. We saw a sell-off, but we are finding huge support at the 42K mark. As you can see right here, it was respected as a resistance, as a support right here, as a resistance, as a resistance, as a support, and a huge wick right here. This all happened in 15 minutes. Price dropped down and huge positions were taken by larger players in the market. So what we can see right now is the market being stagnant. Nothing is happening. I don't advise to take any action at this point. But as the market recuperates, so will cryptocurrencies. However, I believe that Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin when it comes to this correction towards the upside and a continuation of the bull run. Now, why is that? Well, Ethereum, first of all, is following a massive long-term trend line since March of 2020. As you can see right here, huge growth, right? Even investors such as JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, they're all bullish on Ethereum as a hedge against inflation and also as an asset. And as you can see, the wick came right down into the 61% fib level, drove the price all the way back up above the 4K mark, and we have not closed below the 4K mark at any point below since back in October of 2021. So I believe there's huge interest within buyers to purchase Ethereum at the 4K mark, and I don't believe it will be going any lower. Now, lastly, why I believe alt season may be starting. This is a chart that you can see right now of Ethereum against Bitcoin itself. And right here, we can see that Ethereum has broken out of this bullish correction pattern against Bitcoin. Now, what happens when Ethereum is more bullish than Bitcoin is? Well, it's very simple. Alt season tends to begin. The alt season means altcoins will grow. Ethereum is an altcoin, Bitcoin is not an altcoin, but anything except for Bitcoin is an altcoin. So if you go into another list, all of these coins, altcoins that I prefer to have a look at, they are altcoins and they will likely be drawn towards the upside as Ethereum starts gaining momentum and outperforming Bitcoin. Now, why does this happen? It's very simple, because Bitcoin has a market cap of around $800 billion, $900 billion at this point. And all of these altcoins are around, 1 billion, 2 billion, 10 billion, 20 billion, even Ethereum at 400 billion, right? So if you have money flowing out of Bitcoin into altcoins, right, as people realize that there are better projects in the market, they will move their money from Bitcoin into altcoins, and a small portion of Bitcoin, so let's say 10% of Bitcoin's market cap, and that 10% is $100 billion, will have the capacity to move a lot of altcoins towards a lot of gains towards the upside, which is why you should be always looking for the alt season, because that's pretty much the most lucrative part of crypto trading, and it could be on the way right now. Now, don't take these words for granted. I'm not a financial advisor, and you should do your own due diligence before investing, but let's see how the market moves by the end of the week. So thank you all for joining in for another one, and I'll see you guys in the next market recap on Monday.